Magpul Impact Gloves, Tactical. Smith & Wesson SD9VE, Tactical. Magpul PMag, 30 rounder, 5.56 chambered, Tactical. Casio G-Shock, 6900 series, Tactical. And then the subject of this great review, of course, Boba Fett, Tactical. No, not really. This is Tact Pants. We are going to go over a gloriously tactical blade. I think I'm going to call this this review Dipped in Tactical or something along those lines, because this knife is just layered and slathered with all kinds of tacticalness. It's not really hard to figure out what you're going to use this blade for. Tactical uses. Law enforcement, military, civilian guys that just want a freaking cool knife. That's what it's going to be like. This is Tact Pants. We're going to be going over constructions, features, ergonomics, and usability. And then at the end, down in the comments, my rating. Always check that out if you want to see my opinion, which probably counts for a little bit less than nothing for most people. But I put it down there anyways just to try to help out people. So we have the Mcnett Tactical Samish Dive Knife. I picked this up a year and a half ago, I think. Thought it looked cool, had a coupon for Amazon. Ended up picking this thing up for like $15 shipped, I think. Just a ridiculously good deal. The price is now, this is either discontinued or they're not making nearly as many of them because Amazon and eBay both do not have them in stock. Actually don't even offer them anymore, I mean. The only place I was able to find them for a decent price was survivalmetrics.com. I'm sure I'll put that down in the comments, but I have no partnership with them whatsoever. That's just the best price I found, and that was for about $25 US. This is a pretty freaking sweet blade. First, we'll go over the construction. We have ABS plastic handles, no rubber or anything, although it kind of looks rubberized on the camera. We have a 420 stainless steel. That's what this entire knife is made out of, and it is full tang, meaning that you have the blade stock running all the way from the tip of the blade down through the handle to the end, and we have a pommel here, which you could run some really small paracord or some lanyard through or whatever. If you wanted to do that, I would recommend against it, but you can use that for smashing, hammering in things. It would work excellent as a window breaker. I think that would work out really good. And while we're going over construction, I will hit on kind of a really nice feature of this knife. We'll get to the sheath here in a little bit, and that is these little tabs here. You can stick a screwdriver in. I'm not going to do it on camera because it's kind of awkward to do, especially behind the camera. It just takes a little bit of practice. You can actually pop out those little plugs there. The handle spreads apart, and you can take the entire handle off if you wanted to lash it onto a stick to make a spear or something. More than likely, though, you have used this for something like diving or got it wet in water. Use this for skinning out a deer or something. You got it bloody. You want to get it a nice thorough cleaning so there's no rust. So you pop these tabs off, pull the handle apart, and you can get to underneath the handles there to make sure you get everything oiled up and all the crud cleaned out and stuff like that. You may notice it is kind of a cool color. The blade is anyways. That is because it is titanium nitride coated, which hardens the blade just a little bit, gives you a little bit better edge retention from what I've seen. 420 is not a edge retention steel at all. It is highly rust resistant though, highly stainless steel. So I mean, if you're going to do saltwater diving, you probably aren't that concerned with how much your knife costs. $20 is probably nothing. You may want to go for something that's titanium or something, of a rust-proof steel like H1 that Spyderco uses, something like that. But this is for regular water that doesn't have any salt in it or anything. this is just fine. I've taken it on a kayaking trip, stuff like that. As long as you wipe it down, oil it up afterwards, you will have no issues. Going through a couple of the features it has here, we have serrations that work really good. I tried them out. I didn't have any bending of the teeth. Cuts rope, string, cardboard boxes, all just fine. Seatbelt cutter here. I would not use that for anything else than cutting seatbelts, like paracord. You think, oh yeah, I could slip some paracord right through that notch and then, wiggle it a little bit, get paracord cut. Not a great idea. It is not well suited for that. It's sharp, but you would have to come in on a seatbelt at an angle to get that cut right off. And I think that would work out really good. This particular 420 stainless steel, I don't know whether it's 420A, 420B, whatever, 420J, doesn't really matter. They don't specify on the website, but it takes a really fine edge. With black gloves, of course, I'm not going to get it to focus, but have to take my word for it just a little bit. It takes a really fine and sharp edge. It's not going to hold it for very long, but remember what the use of this knife is. Tactical, an emergency defensive tool used to save your or somebody else's life. You're going to be going in on this knife, getting a nice firm grip on it, and going to business. Most of the time you're not going to be doing, the other things I mentioned, like carving up a deer or whatever. It is, although, a great, like a great defensive outdoor knife, I should say. Like, if you don't want to carry a gun, pepper spray, whatever else, and you are cool with just carrying a knife or want a knife as backup, whatever, while you're hiking, backpacking, kayaking, whatever, this is a great blade to do that with. We have 3.2-inch blade, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's about right. 3.2-inch blade, so it's not super long. But remember, you have, almost a 50-50 ratio from blade to handle, so you have a really good balance. And that blade, from whatever you're going to be sticking it into, not going to get into any nitty-gritty details, it's going to go all the way up to the hilt here, because it's a nice spear point blade shape. It is perfectly designed for and made for stabbing, ripping, tearing inside of whatever kind of substance you are going to be using this in. Going to the handle, wow, already at 7 minutes here, but I really dig this knife, and stick around for the end. I'll tell you a super cool story about where I saw this knife at. Yep. We have some ridges here. There's not any different material in there. It's just different ridges to help give you grip, which is very functional. And this handle was extremely well designed, in my opinion, because you can get so many different grips with it. So I'm actually going to set the knife down and take my gloves off for this portion of the review so I can show you a little bit better what we're looking at. So if you're going to go with, I'm right-handed, of course, but this would work just as well for a lefty with your other hand. With your thumb up on top of this ramp here and your pointer finger on the bottom, you can get a really good grip with your front two fingers, and then you just wrap the rest of them around, and you can get a full 4-finger grip with your thumb on top. And it's such a lightweight blade. You're really getting a lot of functionality for the size. Again, 3.2-inch blade, really nice. And for defensive, my personal preference is to go with like an ice pick grip, where you would take your pinky finger, wrap it around this taller ledge, wrap your other fingers around, and then have your thumb on the hilt here. So you're looking at a grip like this, which gives you a lot of rigidity in your grip. So when you're doing a slashing motion, stabbing motion, it's going to stay right in there. And the handle material is grippy enough so that it should stay in there. Whether it's wet, I hate to say it, but bloody, whatever conditions you're going to be in, this is going to stay right in your hand, and that is all roses. And again, you can use that same grip, like I said earlier, to use the pommel. Just scooch your hand up a little bit, pound in whatever you need to. So that is super awesome, but there are a lot of really excellent fixed blade knives. What there are not a lot of are sheaths. Yeah, really awesome sheaths. And this one is counted among the best I have seen on any price point fixed blade knife, period. Ever. lightweight. I don't know the exact weight of it. I'll put it down in the comments. I keep forgetting to bring my scale up on camera. But it is not Kydex. It's the same kind of ABS plastic as the handle. You can see there, it kind of looks the same. These loops here are for MOLLE webbing. So you have the option to mount it to MOLLE, which is where this is normally at on my like Minuteman vest. We have two circles here, kind of rings type deal for a neck carry. So you could run some paracord through there, run a chain through there, whatever, and carry this vertically on your neck. That would work great. I'm not really that into neck knives. And listen to this. Listen to the retention on this sheath. Oh, man. And goes in either way. You don't have to stick it in a particular way. Just listen. It works great. This tab on the bottom here interacts with the tabs on the handle here. Lock it in place. It is going nowhere. And the way to, disengage your knife from the sheath is to push down on that tab either on the bottom or on the top. Getting hard to do on camera, or on the top. The way I find best is just to use both of your fingers. Pull it out just like that. So you have the option of MOLLE, mounting on a vest, tactical gear, whatever, running a lanyard for your neck. You can put this clip on it, or keep this clip on it, which it comes with, and wear this inside the waistband, which is what I prefer to do. And it is a very, very comfortable sheath to wear. Even with these wings spreading out, I think maybe even that helps it. So it's not kind of wiggling around so much. Nothing is sharp. I wear this most of the time appendix carry, which I would never do with a firearm for personal reasons. But with a knife, I think that's just fine as long as you're being careful. Works really, really well. I situate it in such a way that I can push that tab with my pinky, and when I draw, here we go, when I draw, it comes out with a perfect ice pick grip, so I don't have to change grip, I don't have to change anything. All I have to do is get it out of the sheath here, and that's all great. If you're going to mount this to a vest, though, my suggestion would be to spin that screw off, which has a thread locking compound on it, amazingly for the price. You can see right there is the nut that holds it on. Turn that screw out, pull the clip off, put the screw back in, because that's what holds these two pieces of the sheath together, and so that it'll lay flat on your MOLLE gear, because if you don't, this clip gets in the way, and it's really, really hard to attach. So that would be my suggestion. So now down to a quick story time. This is going to be a long review, already at 12 minutes, but this is an excellent knife. Totally worth the time, worth the wait, worth the watch if any of you guys are still sticking around. So this past week, me and my family went on a vacation to Bahia Principe Resort in Cancun, Mexico. Was a really, really great time. We had a lot of fun. Did a whole bunch of different stuff. Didn't end up swimming with any dolphins. And I didn't bring this because we didn't do any diving or anything. But that's not the cool part. Had a lot of fun. That was cool. When we were coming back into the U.S., one of the customs officers that we walked past, actually the one right beside us that checked us in, had this exact knife clipped to his duty belt. And I wanted so bad to go over and ask him what his experience was with this. But we had to keep on going. Traffic was moving through customs pretty good. And then I realized later, thinking back on it, if a customs officer, TSA guy, trusts this knife enough to have it on his belt for his personal last-ditch protection, I think that's good enough for me and my personal protection overall. And I just thought that was really cool to see. He had this exact sheath set up exactly like it is. He was using the clip to clip onto his duty belt. You can see it's nice and wide there, so you can, really peel that out, fit it on, fit it on a variety of different belts, different systems, and whatnot. But really cool knife, have a lot of different usages. You can tell I totally dig this. I've had it for a while, and I've done all sorts of different stuff, from stabbing cardboard boxes to baton and wood with it, and it works just fine. Again, this is the Mcnett Tactical Samish dive knife. They also have it in a tan version with a slightly different sheath, and that one is equally recommended as far as the blade goes. So this is Tact Pants signing off. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to. Tell me how I did with this review. And something new I'm going to start doing is, if you guys want to see a particular knife or want to see a particular kind of review, put it down in the comments. so I know what to look for next time I have a chunk of change burning a hole in my pocket. So I can pick out what you guys want, shoot out a review on it so you guys can know whether it's worth it to get it. Signing off.